Hi, everybody. Welcome to the dungeon. My name is Robin, and today is Flameworking 102.80, the soft glass switchback pendant. There's been so many times that I've wanted to do something that's really originated with borosilicate glass. And they have this special pattern, the wigwag pattern, that is really, really famous. And you just can't get the same effect with soft glass. It's very difficult, at least. I have never been able to do it. And it's one of those patterns that I've always enjoyed and thought was so cool. And I thought, well, I'm just going to give it another try. I don't feel like I can really call it a wigwag because it's really not. It's more of a switchback, hence the name. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you think. And on that note, I hope you're all doing safe and well out there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time in the dungeon. All right, you guys, I'm going to get started here, and this is the second time I've tried to record this, and the video just goes a little quicker than I'm used to all of a sudden. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to use white as my base color. This is going to be really similar to the scalloped cane start. But I'm going to use 3 colors and instead of 4. And then, so what I'm going to do is use my pea green and then 2 swipes of each color, the lemon yellow light, and maybe it's 3 swipes. Yes, 3. I want a nice dense color here. And each one kind of, resembles a thick amount of toothpaste, in a commercial. So you want a nice swatch of color here. And then the third color is, it's that dark pink. People like to call it evil purple, but I just love this color. It's so fun to use. And here I'm going to use it in hopes to get a really hot pink. And before I add my secondary colors, I will just push everything down kind of in a triangle and make sure that none of the white in between is showing. I want all these colors to push together real nice. And then just roll that out. And my secondary colors here, just to give the undercolor some extra added depth and dimension and a deeper color. I'm going to add some green on top of the green, and I can't remember if this is the electric yellow or the straw yellow, but you could probably get away with either one. And I'm going to add that right on top of the yellow. I had to make sure for a second I knew exactly what colors I was adding it to, because yellow and green look so similar when they're hot. To me, at least. Okay, so now here is the gold ruby, and this on top of that evil purple makes that hot pink that I am always looking for. So I'm going to have to remember that recipe. All right, so now I'm going to just melt things in. I want to make sure I am constantly staying away from heating that white rod. That is has always burnt me. If I just heat the white up just a little tiny bit and then go flash it again, it always cracks. So I want to add all my color on here and then get onto a punty immediately. Because I'm used to having my color rods crack on me. So I try real hard not to heat the white. Okay, so on top of each color, I'm going to put some running stripes. And I'm using the same color, but in an opaque. And I have added, before I pulled these stringers, I encased them with clear. You could probably, I thought about this later on, you could switch these colors up to have like the yellow on the green and the green on the purple, something like that. But I just ended up doing this without really thinking about it. Anyway, so I'm just going to pull that tip together. And with my tungsten tweezers, I'm going to just pull the tip out. And I always pull one way and then tweeze the other way in order to get a nice round pull. I never just tweeze and then pull out. It never really rounds out for me that way. All right, now I just want to heat everything up and finish adding my final color, and it is the intense black that I have pulled out into a thin stringer, and I have clear coated it so it doesn't bleed out or anything. And it also gives it more depth. And I'm just going to put that color in between each one of these. Now, I've really only seen these patterns done in borosilicate. Not to say that nobody's ever tried it or nobody's doing it, in soft glass, but I'm not one to kind of search the internet and see what everybody's doing. I kind of just keep to myself, and sometimes I'll look out there for inspiration. But I've always wanted to make this type of pattern in soft glass. It just seems so easy to make in the boro, but I really don't have the boro colors that I would like to have. They're just so expensive. And I enjoy using soft glass, so I figured might as well give this a try. So I've taken off my white rod, and now I am going to just pinch on one side and then the other side, and just continuously start to pull the other little bleb off the end of that, so it's nice and clean again. There's something about this technique that I find very soothing, pulling these points out and getting to this cool, pattern. Anyway, so that is all of the color bundle that we're doing. Now we need to do this whole twist thing. And it was not the easiest thing. I think maybe, I did turn my torch down here as much as I thought I could, but then maybe I could have turned it down even more. And I'm also thinking about, how long this is. I want to start with a long package so I can cut it into sections and then heat each section individually to get my forwards and backwards twist. And so I do my first twist, and I kind of cool it down a little bit on the marvering pad, and then I'm going to go over a little bit and do my second twist. And I think maybe this is where things got difficult for me because for a second here I felt like I was working with spaghetti. It was just like I wasn't thinking that I really should have cooled it down a lot more in between each section, because when I get to this section here and I'm also trying to cool it down, I kind of felt like out of control. I didn't know what I was doing here. So it gets to this point where I'm like, man, I feel like I'm losing the switchback. But I just keep going, trying my best to get the forward and backwards, look that I'm going for, and just keep working my way towards the end. And that kind of cooled down the top part enough for me to then give it a little extra twist where I wanted it to go. So I'm really trying to just twist forwards and backwards in different sections. I really enjoyed doing this, so I'm going to try it a couple more times. Maybe make some pendants out of these for you guys. Who knows? But yeah, I love the way this turned out, but I felt like it could have been easier. Anyway, so I finally get this wigwag pattern in there. And on this side, I'm going to pull the punty out, and then I'm also going to pull a little extra. And always remember, here's the thing, you have to pull in the direction that the spiral is going every time. And the point, every time you pull out that point, the tip will get smaller and smaller. And what I'm hoping to get is everything to come together in a nice little tip of spiral. And it's just honestly not easy for me to do. Anyway, so once I finish that pulling and I feel good about where I am going to start to encase this thing. And I will encase it several times. And of course, when I encase things, I always make sure that the glass is really nice and stiff, because you're just going to be heating it up again with all these swipes of hot glass. So it's okay to let it cool down, and that's what's going to allow you to have a nicer pattern underneath. And then from there, it's a little bumpy, and it's best to smooth the bumps down first and then soak the heat in a little bit more to your color, and you won't necessarily get these swipe marks in between each swipe, if you've ever seen that before. Okay, now that I've heated all that in, I'm going to just work this end a little bit here, just to smooth it down. I want a nice smooth surface every time I encase. And this second encasement is always easier than the first one, because you already have the clear glass on there. So we're just going to swipe, swipe, swipe all the way down and around, making sure that we overlap as we go. I was really hoping to share a couple stories with you, but this video, the 102 demos, the 101s, 102s, I always speed up, so they're much quicker, and I just can't share anything too much. But I got some good stories to tell you about going to some gas conferences. And if you don't know what the gas conference is, it's the Glass Arts Society Conference. There's one going on this year in June in Corning. But I've been to several and got some pretty good stories to tell. And if I remember them well enough, oh gosh, here's where things go wrong, you guys. I totally forgot to make my bale. So I had to heat my bundle up and cross my fingers that it is not going to explode on me. So I'm trying to make a bale and keep my bundle warm, but not hot enough to where it's falling. So this whole section here, my heart rate went up. I'm all of a sudden, I'm kind of freaking out, and I have to just heat up my glass and then, do a little disc, heat up my glass again, and add a little bit more glass to the bale part, just a small clear bead. And then here at the end, I was able to just kind of even out my little bale bead there and put it in the oven now. And now I am back to where I need to be. Phew, okay. I forgot all about that, you guys. Yeah, that was a moment of panic there. I can't believe that happened. Anyway, okay, so you know that you can do that now if you are in desperate need. I'm so bad at putting on a bale with the soft glass. It's not even, I'm not even going to try, because I know how bad I am at it. Anyway, so I am back to the glass, pulled off my other puntee, the one that I am going to put the bale on. I think. We'll see. And then I'm just going to heat everything up. I added a little glass to the end. Okay, here's where everything changes. I want to push very gently my glass into a disc, like a lozenge, like a piece of candy. And I can see that the spiral is right at the end still. And I just really tried nice and slow to keep everything in the center while I did this with the marble mold. And now that I have somewhat of a pendant ready to go, I can puntee up the bottom with another metal puntee right into the clear glass, and then take off the other puntee. And this is really awkward because when the puntee was coming off, the glass is moving. And so I really tried to, as soon as the puntee comes off, you're immediately getting that pendant back on center. And now we have, what we have here is our switchback and now spiraled design. And so here, where that puntee mark was, I just want to clean up that area. Again, when I do this, I make sure that I'm twisting in the direction I need to be twisting. All right, now everything, I'm real happy here. All right, so now at this point, I am going to heat everything up and get it back on center and get it into kind of a round. And then we're going to flatten it for the final shape. And we're almost finished here. But yeah, I'm excited to share some Glass Society conference stories with you guys. All right, so now that it's nice and hot, all the way through, I'm going to gently flatten it out. And I was like so happy with the way this turned out. I mean, it's definitely not the perfect, I don't want to call it a wigwag because that is a boro thing. I feel like you can get so much more wigwag at it in the boro. So that's why I'm calling a wigwag in soft glass is now going to be called the switchback because it's more of a slow switchback and forth of your spiral. But yeah, when I got to this point, I was super happy. I was so happy that I wasn't thinking about my glass punty, and I put it on kind of hot, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Anyway, so I'm just heating up and smoothing out that top area, rounding it out with my knife, and getting it ready to pull. I'm going to pull out the bail, and then immediately dip the end in water and then heat it up. And of course, what happens? It cracks. So I just immediately continue to heat it up until the crack heals. And then I'm good to go. So now I'm going to attach it to the top of this pendant. And I'm telling you, I must have the best bead release that there is on this mandrel, like the perfect amount, because with all that I did to try to take this thing off, I'm surprised it didn't crack, you guys. Okay, anyway, so now that I have, almost, I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. Now that I have a little bit left on there, I'm just going to immediately heat that up and press it in and just kind of soften that glass a little bit. And, be careful when you're, hitting your glass like that. I usually don't do that, okay? It's not the best, practice, okay? Anyway, I want to straighten this up, and we are finished, you guys. Tell me what you think about this one. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And with that said, I'll see you next time in the dungeon.